This is a moment in Holland, about 7 o'clock in the morning, and what you see here is not a particular park, but it's how almost all of Holland looks like. There's the solid earth, and a few meters away, and always only a few meters away, is the water. And the water, as you can see, is only a few centimeters below ground level. So that's the ground level water that is everywhere in this flat Holland. And what is this to do with information and the core system? There was always the question if our environment creates us or if we create the environment. And as you can see here, this was all man-made. And in fact, almost all or all of Holland is man-made. Because a few hundred years ago, any step you would take, you would not know if this is a swamp or if it's solid earth. And the same psychology you can see in many Dutch. It is between creating order, structure, which you can see particularly in the housing. See, every house here is looking the same. And then on the other hand, the unpredictable, the deep, the restless, the water. So a few hundred years ago there was a big swamp everywhere, and there was frequent high waters coming from the ocean. They had to build dams, they had to make the world more predictable. And this you see today also, that it is an alteration in the Dutch psychology between order, making the water flow in certain channels, in straight channels, putting trees in straight lines, and then on the other hand, the great love for freedom and the Protestant movement separating from the Catholic Church or going out into the world, and with a small country like this, finding places like Brazil, like Indonesia, like India, all from this place, from this little place that was at this frontier between the deep, the flowing, the unpredictable, the water, and the earth, the stability, that on which you can stand with your feet. So now, this is really not only a polarity of the Dutch, and it's certainly not a polarity of every Dutch, but it is an archetype, a polarity that we can find when we scan this core in many people, that there is the constant struggle between making the world more predictable, more stable, more solid, and then on the other hand the love for freedom, for alteration, for excitement, for adventure. And so I would say this is, I would call it, make a name for it, I would call that's the Dutch archetype. And so when you look around in a country, you can see that the people reflect very much their environment. But I say, and this is another thing you've never heard before, it's not because the country, the environment made the psychology of the people, but because there's something else that is making both. It makes the psychology and it makes the country, it makes the landscape. And this is the informational field. So see it from this way. You are not feeling that you are the prisoner, the victim of your environment. It is the informational field that makes both of you the field, the environment, and the psychology of people. And because it's not the environment, you can change the influence you are under by making a change in the field of variation, in the informational matrix. And core system is a tool to find which ways are possible, which are your options, your resonances, and then helping to give you tools to make those changes.